Well, it's week 4 of the LCS with coverage brought to you by Alienware, and he is back. Akaadian has returned to the LCS triumphant. A lot of junglers popping up lately. This is what I've noticed. I don't know what's going on, but you guys are all it's clearly something. You guys in Academy, you and Armeo and Contracts, you guys have all together created a conspiracy to try to discredit the people ahead of you or cause something that allows you guys all to get back. Is that what I'm guessing? Is that correct?
Um, it's actually really interesting because this group of people, I feel like, so all of us had our stints in the LCS and we all got in around the same like period of time, but we all like before I became pro, I remember playing contracts a lot in Challenger and Greg was there too and some of the other players that have been around, and it feels like at least back then we like all pushed each other because we're playing each other trying to get better all the time, right? So we push each other to improve pretty much, and then we all got LCS. Whatever happened with us, like I mean, for me, it's been like I think a lot of mental stuff. I don't know how it was with them, like why they went back down to Academy or were inconsistent with their performance, but
Well, two
definitely
of you
this
were
year I feel
TSM
like
junglers, so
yeah, true.
tough
I mean,
tough
I
gig.
I had my stuff before that too, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was definitely not the easiest to handle. But I feel like at least this year for me in spring, I mean, you're expected to like go to academy to like and like stomp everyone, right? At least when I played in academy in 2020, I did stomp everyone, and that was the expectation for me. It was just like, yeah, this guy's just gonna shell on everyone. It's not gonna be close because he's LCS level, right? But this year in academy, it's like, oh, there's like 6 junglers here that are LCS level. Like they're all really really good, and I think we've just all been pushing each other. The role is pretty stacked in academy, so I think LCS junglers need to watch their level of play to make sure it doesn't drop because there's definitely people in academy that could take their job, I think.
Well, there's been an interesting thing where recently I've just been talking to so many players that have been showing up on short notice to join an LCS team, and so oftentimes without like having scrims before or anything like that. And I always just assume it must be such a tough situation, probably a lot of pressure because maybe you've played with some of these guys before, maybe you subbed in for a scrim or something, but like is it really tough like suddenly popping into like a lineup in the middle of the split that you hadn't played with previously?
Um, I definitely felt a little nervous last week before playing because I did have no scrims with the team, and we're playing against uh, TSM and CLG, who are both looking pretty strong before that. I was a little nervous about how my own play would be, and I know jungle is a lot about like coordination with your team. So I was a little nervous before we played, but in terms of like if it's been hard, I mean, me personally, I've been this whole year, my project has pretty much just been like working on my mental health and my mental stability pretty much. So I've just been kind of trying to take it day by day and like take it as it comes. I wasn't expecting it. It was really random. Friday 8 p.m. The coach of the LCS team called me and said, "Can you play LCS tomorrow?" And I was like, "Okay." I mean, if you're in my position, like as a veteran, I feel like I've already played in LCS before. I've done well before. I've been in academy like drowning for like a while, so I get that opportunity. I'm just like, yeah, sure, let's go, let's play. So
So who is it that you're going over to their house to make sure that they feel good after a rough day of scrims?
Oh, I mean, that's a little bit of a stretch.
I
That
just
that whole part. It
I'm
did
teasing.
I mean,
Go
it
ahead.
did happen in the past. I don't really want to say exactly who it was, but it
Yeah.
wasn't exactly because of the scrim issue, but
Yeah, no,
it was just like,
the dig video I felt was a little funny the way that they positioned some of the stuff. But I really like the way they positioned you as like you're this leader that's gonna come in and like make sure you're gonna take somebody out to get ice cream or Disneyland if they're having a tough time or whatever. I do you do you actively try to do that stuff, or is it I'm not trying to discredit the organization. It's more just like I'm curious, like how much of that do you feel like is something that's happening on like a week to week basis, or sort of a concerted effort on your part to make sure everybody's in a good place?
well, I mean, I'm down to say it because I think David played way better today and kind of proved himself a little bit more on the Lee Sin. But after our game yesterday, after our loss, David had a lot of he had a lot of agency, and I'm not going to get super into it, right? But the vibe that I got from him as his teammate was, bro, you're like playing so scared to make a mistake that we're losing opportunities to win. Like we were in a super winning position versus 100 Thieves, and David was just
And
there's like a lot of ways you
David
could push
being sorry for those that
Yasui.
yeah yeah.
So I think he's just like feeling the pressure. This is like his like shot of like, oh man, like maybe I could play LCS. And I feel like when I was younger, like I've been there before. I know what can go through his head. So I actually did go to ice cream with him yesterday and talk to him about how he was feeling and try to give him some advice on that. And we basically went in today, like the whole vibe before the game was like, let's not be scared. Let's when we get our time to fight, we plan our fight and we fight like on our timer. We don't just be warriors today instead of like just being scared to make a mistake. Because I feel like NALCS is like so many teams are just scared to play the game. And even in academy, like I don't know, my first academy match I actually played versus contracts. I dropped like 16 deaths in that game trying to get my team to like understand that I didn't if we're losing, I don't want to like lose slow like that. I want to just play aggressive all the time, like play for fights constantly because like that's what the best teams in the world do. You see what's winning the last 2 years, like the best teams in the world, LPL, they're just fighting. They don't care. I literally watched Gala flash W as Tristana 1v1 under the turret, just instantly die yesterday in LPL, and he just keeps playing the game. And LPL just plays like that. Like their whole culture, like the vibe of that region is just let's find the fights, let's go to war right now. Like I feel like NA really needs that, like NALCS at least. It's just like NALCS, it's like, ooh, we might mess up. And I think a lot of that is like maybe due to the fans a little bit, maybe due to the community, because like, dude, people love to shit on North America.
Okay, but
Like,
I just want to say, people shit so hard on the LPL stuff. Their fans are so much worse than ours.
really?
So that's why I just want to cut in on it, is because like I totally agree. I wish the fans were way different. But like the LPL fans are crazy. Whenever Broden and I went over there to do a documentary on it, we heard a lot about how passionate. I don't even want to say they're crazy because I don't want them knocking on my door, but they're very passionate and perhaps levels even beyond where our fans are at in the LCS. So I
Oh
don't
wow.
know.
Yeah, I don't know how it is for them, but I mean that's like my perspective. But I mean LPL's, how are they mad? Like LPL wins constantly in international, like just
Because they don't gauge themselves off of like what it's kind of what have you done recently for me, and also like I mean there's so many teams in that region that like you're thinking about it in terms of like, hey, one of these teams is going to go off to MSI and perhaps win it, or Worlds and win it. But like you got to remember that there's like 17 other teams with like fans that are based in their like city or something. And so there's just a lot of frustration, and even the team that's on top, whenever they're not doing great, like I think there can be frustration from the fans. I don't know. But yes,
yeah.
all I would say is I would caution you and the other LCS players that if you think like if LCS starts winning Worlds, the fans are going to get a lot nicer and more positive. I'm not even sure if that'll be the case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the fan thing is ever going to change because like I know how it is, right? Like
Yeah.
we're pros, we're doing the job. All you guys are like all the fans are League of Legends players that probably wish that they could do what we're doing and like just be where we are and feel how it is to compete, but I wish that like players got less affected by it or didn't care about it
Yeah.
as much or something. Because I like I don't know. I had like an epiphany or something like a year ago maybe. I just went through like all the TSM drama, right? And after that all happened, I like reflected on it all, and I was just like, dude, I need to not look at Reddit or Twitter or social media. It's whether it's positive or negative about you, it's gonna be not good for your mentality. And I
Yeah.
wish more players just like when they played the game, they just played to win. I feel like in LCS, I feel like there's a lot of like, ooh, we might lose. This might be bad. Like, I don't know. It's just maybe
There's
I'm just riding a high from how we played today, but yeah.
yeah. There's a big right. There's more movement in the LCS than we've ever seen before. Right, like players end up traded so often they end up down in academy, they come back. Do you think that at all impacts the nerves of the players? Because I feel like in the past there's a lot more job security because there was just a lot less competition for these spots. So I don't know if you feel like that's ever a thing where like people are more afraid of their job losing their job or whatever.
Hmm. Well, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is if you win the game or not. So if you lose opportunities to potentially win the game or potentially make a good play, then there's a lower chance that you'll win the game. So if you play like that, like you're scared to make mistakes, there's actually a higher chance than that you're not going to have your job in the future for
Yeah,
a player that will try.
I think I saw Sneaky Medios and Peter talking about it on their co-stream where they were. It was kind of like a, or maybe it was somebody I had interviewed. I don't want to hit on anybody in particular, but somebody I talked to had mentioned like you don't want to be the person that goes in and makes the play that like is really risky and has like a great chance of doing something amazing, because if you fail, then people clip it or talk about it in the post game thread or just like go on and on about it. And I don't know if you feel like that's ever the case for these players, is that like it is a thing where it's like they don't want to be seen as the person that makes the mistakes, and so they don't take the risks, because it's better to like have 0 kills and 0 deaths by the end of the game than it is to have, you know, two kills and like 5 deaths or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You're saying that they're being affected by the fact that people are clipping or talking about them or making fun of them, but like my point is that if you care about that stuff, then you will play naturally like less scared.
Yeah.
You'll play more scared because you'll be scared to make mistakes if you care about that stuff. And I'm saying that you should do everything in your power as a pro player to not care about, to like not see or not be affected by what people are saying, like
Yeah.
whether it's good or bad. Like, dude, the narrative for me, like my whole career has just been like up and down constantly. Like I don't know, it's been so all over the place all the time, and in my experience, it's not good if it's good or bad. If I pay attention to it, at least.
I am
Because
paying
when I
attention
was
to you. I'm
good,
just seeing if Riot is yelling at me yet about not getting. Oh no, we're good. Okay, continue. Sorry, continue.
oh, yeah, I was just saying, I've had the experience like if I'm seeing a bunch of super sick comments about me talking about how I'm the best to ever do it, and like I'm so good and I'm so talented, it just boosted my ego in the past, and then I was like, yeah, I'm the best, I'm too talented, and then I stopped practicing, the patch changes, like 2 months go by, and then I'm the worst again, and it's like, dude, I need to not like care so much if people are like shitting on me because I had some bad games, or really boosting me up because I had some good games. Like, just don't pay attention to that. There's only like the game and the rules and how you play and how your team thinks you did and your coach, your org. That's the stuff that matters. So
Dig has been pushing you, or pushed you in that video as like the leader of the team. Are you now like the, despite showing up last week, are you now basically taking over the captain position or like the main voice or whatever?
no, honestly, I think Aframu Zach is much better at that for me. And I'm not even like, I think I am I have the qualities to like be a leadership type person, but I prefer to usually just be like the second guy. I feel like that's where I'm most comfortable. I can shot call the early game well. I can communicate well with stuff to do like that. I think one thing I am really good at is I'm very in tune with everyone's emotions. I can like feel how people feel, and I can try to help them if I think they're feeling wrong, or like push them in a certain way if I think they need to feel a certain way. I think that's a skill I have. But no, I wouldn't say I'm like the captain. I mean, I don't know. Nah, we're like duo.
Okay,
Me and Zach
you
are
guys are
duo.
you guys are co-captains of the team.
Co-captains.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 All right, we're way over time. Is there anything you want to say to any of the fans out there while
Yeah.
you're not
It's
reading
nice
their
to be back.
comments?
Yeah, it's nice to be back in LCS. I hope you guys can cheer for me and just see what 2021 Akaadian and this new Dig lineup can do, because it's definitely going to be a different team than it was in the past. We're not going to play the same exactly, but hopefully you guys can cheer for us. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you as well for the interview. Please say hi to DeMonte for me when you get home.
I shall.
I think we all miss him. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Okay. For everybody else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things LCS right here on my YouTube channel. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video. I love making these things for you. Or if it's the run and outro that you're watching right now, then I love when Tim makes things for you and I executive produce them. Anyway, I wanna give back to you. And so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you this pro tip. Click the Alienware link in the description, and then at the very top of it, what you're gonna see, it says Alienware Arena. There's just that logo up at the top. If you click that and sign up, there's all sorts of cool stuff that happens there. They give you away stuff. You don't have to own an Alienware computer to access it. They give you game codes sometimes. There's giveaways. There's all sorts of different things that you can get through it. And signing up does help me and continues to make Alienware happy with me. And I need them to be happy with me because I have to pay people that edit these videos and the people that appear in them that aren't me. Well, not all of them, but like, you know, Tim and Mark and people. Anyway, click the link. Go sign up for Alienware Arena and check it out if you've already signed up for it previously.